Hi, this is Joe again with another review. And again, I'm going to do another. Previously, just did a review for Home Improvement, and I'm going to be doing another TV show. Which I consider one of the funnier TV shows for the 1980s, and that is Perfect Strangers. Starring Bronson Pinchot and Mark Baker. And it ran for 8 years. It went from 1986 on ABC through about I think like 92 and 93. And like I said, it is definitely one of the better sitcoms on television. And to me, it's kind of like the male version of the Vernon and Shirley. What I mean by that is like two guys living together, and you had a lot of physical comedy in it. The Vernon and Shirley was two women, and it had a lot of physical comedy and living together, going out on dates, worrying about dates and worrying about jobs, and had a lot of physical comedy. And Perfect Strangers is kind of like that, but with two guys instead of two women. Well, but unlike in Laverne and Shirley, Perfect Strangers, the two main characters, Brooklyn Baker and Barton Pinchot, are supposed to be cousins, distant cousins who, well, at least in Brooklyn Baker's case, didn't really know the other one existed. Or didn't know that he had a foreign-born cousin. Because you have all these crazy things in how they were related, and I think it happens just about in any family. But what a lot of people don't know was that the Barton Pinchot's character, Balky, is actually based on the character that Bronson Pinchot played in the first Beverly Hills Cop movie. Because that character was like a little minor character, a little scene, but the interaction he had with Eddie Murphy, people said, "Hey, this guy should have a television show, or maybe possibly play something like that character." And so that's how Perfect Strangers came about, and it didn't even enter like 2 years later. Come on, into two years later on ABC, and he starred with Mark Baker, who starred in I think his first movie role was in My Favorite Year with Peter O'Toole. It was back in like 81 or 82, and so he was kicking around doing maybe mostly plays or something, and then he got this part, and both of them were really terrific. And for some reason, I believe only the first two seasons are together on a DVD set, and that's it. I don't know why other seasons of Perfect Strangers are not out on DVD. I have absolutely no idea. It should be, because it is, like I said, one of the better sitcoms of the 80s, one of the funniest shows in the 1980s, and I feel they had some great bits. But the first season, and then of course the second season, they kind of changed the format a little bit. It's very subtle, but but it did eventually work out for the series. The first season was Balky and Larry and Balky, who were two main characters, were working in a discount store, which was owned by by a mean boss, but also turned out to be the landlord, Mr. Tricacetti, by Ernie Sabella. Well, he was a great character actor. You might know him for playing the naked guy in a Subway episode of Seinfeld. Plus, he also was the voice of Pumbaa, the warthog, in The Lion King, Disney film. But unfortunately, he was only there for the first season. But I thought that he was, great in that role. And the first episode was when Larry, who lives Larry Appleton, was finally living on his own for the first time, and living in Chicago. And all of a sudden, there's a knock on the door. He opens the door, and it happens to be Bronson Pinchot. It says, "Larry, are you Larry Appleton?" Yeah. And I said, "Larry," and gives him a big hug. And goes a long explanation that he isn't actually just a cousin from twice removed, or whatever the case is. And he's from this fictional island named Meatball, so it's supposed to be off the Greek islands or something, and he traveled by plane and by ship, and by plane, and he got here, looking for you. Because you're my cousin, so he happens to live with him. And over the course of the series, he was taking, Balky was taking the night classes. He eventually became an American citizen. He got a high school diploma and he eventually became an American citizen over the course of the series. In the meantime, the two of them had constant girlfriends. One of them played with Melanie Wilson, who played Jennifer, who was Larry's girlfriend. And then you had I forgot the actress who played Marianne, or her name was Balky's girlfriend. And then of course, very by the end of the series, next to last season, I think the 7th season, they eventually got married. And both couples lived together in the same house. And the family moved out of the old house, or the apartment they were living in, and became kind of iconic in the series. But they eventually moved into the house, and then next to last season, or the last episode of the 7th season, Jennifer announces that she was pregnant. Although Marianne was also pregnant, almost at the same time, but Jennifer was pregnant first. And of course, the 8th season, when you had, I think, like 8 or 9 more episodes. So because ABC decided to give them like next season replacement, let's give them like a couple, like 8 to 10 episodes, whatever it was, or 13 episodes, just to finish off the series so we give her a proper ending. And they gave, unlike other shows, they gave Perfect Strangers a perfect ending. Pardon the pun, but they gave Perfect Strangers a perfect ending of the series, where both women gave birth to the baby. Both gave birth to sons. In the case of Balky and Marianne, it was the first American-born Bartolomew's, which is Balky's last name. And what was great last episode. It was a sad way, but it was a great way they ended the series, and it was a perfect ending. But one thing that I did like about the series, that which a lot of people don't know, is that Perfect Strangers was actually a spin-off, spin-off from Family Matters. Or should I say, the Family Matters was spawned off from Perfect Strangers, because there was when they went to the 2nd season. Like I said, the 1st season they worked in a little rich discount, and Larry wanted to become a newspaper reporter. By the 2nd season, he got hired by Chicago Chronicle, which I believe that building was actually the Chicago. I believe it's the Chicago Tribune building. Any of you out there who lives in Chicago, if I'm wrong about that, please feel free to comment and correct me. I believe that's the Chicago Tribune building in Chicago. The building that was used for the Chicago Chronicle, the newspaper that Larry works at. And Balky was depressed that Balky was still stuck in the job in the discount store. And Larry's moved on. We're working together. Well, Larry got him a job in the mailroom in the building, and both of them having to be working in the same space, got a little desk near the mailroom, because that's where he got stationed. And Balky was there. We had Sam J. Anderson playing Balky's boss. And of course, you might recognize him for being in the principal in that scene in Forrest Gump. And of course, occasionally he was on other shows as well, like Law and Order or something. But anyway, the one who was running the elevator in the newspaper was Harriet, who of course is the Harriet in Family Matters. She said, "Oh, my husband is a cop," and her husband happened to be the guy who was in the first Die Hard movie. And of course, they liked the character so much, the Harriet character, they gave her own spin-off show. It was of course Family Matters, and that was a successful show. I think it followed Home Improvement, or not Home Improvement. It followed Perfect Strangers, or at least was scheduled on the same night. But like I said, Home Improvement, and because I just did a review of Home Improvement, so I just kind of had that on the brain still. But Perfect Strangers was the show for me. I still watch. Once in a while, I will find a show on YouTube. Unfortunately, because of the stupid copyright laws, a lot of the episodes were taken down. Jerks. but one of my favorite episodes in Perfect Strangers was an episode where Larry and Balky took their girlfriend, and at that time was their girlfriends, Marianne and Jennifer, to a bar with his happy hour. And Larry gets bumped into by a big lug, who eventually gets into a fight with, hey, you bumped into me, you should apologize. I'm not going to apologize to you, you little jerk. And he gets into a fight with Larry, throws him across the bar, and throws Balky across the bar. So the two of them, particularly Larry, felt humiliated because he got beat up in front of his girlfriend. So then Balky is just ready to go to karate, so they defend themselves. And he talks Larry into it. So okay, so they go into a karate class, and he had this big, tough, kind of like a reject from the Karate Kid movies. This guy, big tough with a tough, Japanese or Chinese accent. Okay, what do you want to join my class for? And then he gives like this BS thing. He said, "Oh, I'm a reporter for Chicago Chronicle, and I'm doing a story on different self-defense techniques." And gives him the whole BS line. So the guy says, "So you got beat up, huh?" and of course I got a big laugh. So the instructor, the karate instructor, figures that these two guys are two nerds, two geeks. I'm going to teach these two geeks a lesson. And he brings out one of the advanced students, the black belt students, and he says, and brings Balky, hey, Balky's son, and Batakama's son, why don't you come up here for a demonstration? And he says, okay. So it says, I want you to attack Goldstein. He said, well, before he didn't do anything to me. He said, oh, you should attack him. So he grabs him from behind, like a mugger would, and Goldstein does fling. And the advanced student flings Balky like halfway across the floor. Just flings him over his shoulder like it was nothing. And Balky went, like that. They don't want him. And then he says to him, you alright? He said, yeah, right. And the instructor goes, okay, now I want you to attack him from the front. But he looks up at the instructor and says, I don't think so. And that's one of the funnier ones. And of course he did a whole fake jump scene. Kind of like the spoof of the Pink Panther movies, where Inspector Clouseau would get jumped by his butler, who was a karate expert, and would jump him before the apartment, train sequences. That's what he did in this episode, and it was really, really funny. And of course, what really makes it funny was in the they want to go back to the bar, and they got beat up again by the same guy. It was funny. The other favorite episode of mine with Home Improvement was the episode where Larry gets a bird, gets a parrot, and the parrot flew away. It's in the middle of winter, and Larry was like cleaning the house, had a problem with the chimney was clogged, and the smoke came out of the all over the apartment. He opened up the window and the parrot flew out. And Balky sends Virgil at the open window for the bird to fly back, and the bird does eventually fly back, and I thought it was also a cute episode. But in terms of the series, I think a lot of the episodes are pretty good, and there's one particular episode which does have an actual mistake, and I think this video was on YouTube. I don't know if it still is now. But there's one particular episode where the psychic predicts that Larry was going to die. And what happened was, the two girls, Marianne and Jennifer, plus Balky, saying something Larry all night was going to die at midnight or something. And then Mr. Death would come to visit. And of course, there's one particular time during the storm, they had like a thunderstorm. The lights go out of the apartment, and they're all screaming, and Balky, and the Marianne was behind Balky. And what happened was that Balky had his hand, you can actually see in the footage, in the episode, for some reason it wasn't in and out, he had his hand on Marianne's ass. He was literally, he had his hand literally on Marianne's ass, instead of being on her lower back, he had it on her ass. And, well, after, I don't know how many seconds, he had his hand on her ass for a few seconds, for maybe half a minute. For 45 seconds, he had his hand on her ass, and eventually he just moves his hand up to a small of her back, and then he loses his whole arm and puts his whole arm around Marianne. And just like the one little big goof they've seen on Perfect Strangers. But in terms of the show, it doesn't take away from how good that show was. And it did have a great theme song. It was still back in the time when television shows had great theme songs to it. Nowadays, you don't have a theme song to any of the television shows today, really. You do have musical scores, but not a good theme song anymore. Perfect Strangers does have a great theme song to it. And like I said, it is one of the best shows on TV. It's a damn shame only first. I don't even have a DVD of Perfect Strangers. Because it's very hard to find. And that's why having to order it somewhere online or Amazon or Best Buy or something. But that's my review of Perfect Strangers. Please feel free to rate it. Feel free to comment on. Please subscribe to my channel and please forward this video to your Facebook pages. Thanks for watching and catch you next time.